Gimmicks. Hated by elitists and loved by cameras. Over the years, some of the biggest bands in rock and metal have benefited from having a gimmick. Whether that's stage names, makeup, mascots, tributes to fictional characters, there is a lot to work with, and having a gimmick can be as simple as everyone in the band dress in similar fashion. They've made many bands famous. So why are gimmicks seen as bad?
Part of it is that elitism that sees gimmicks as a weak way to stand out or to mask lack of talent. Another part is that many music fans either don't understand what a specific gimmick is, or they see it as embarrassing cringe. It's a shame because a good gimmick on a good band elevates that band to massive heights. Put the musical talent aside of a band and think of a band as a business. Your brand is your band name. Your logo is how people recognize you in text and visually remember you. Both of these are extremely important. That goes outside of rock and metal also.
Some of the biggest names in heavy music history have had an instantly identifiable name or logo. That's easy to understand. But once you get past those two features, it's not always enough to depend on raw talent and music performance. With thousands of bands out there trying to make it, tour, send demos, get radio play, how is that band going to stand out?
To help illustrate how gimmicks work, look at some of these bands and see if you can instantly identify something about them just from their logo. Kiss, easy to spot, easy to remember. You instantly know what the band looks like even if you don't really listen to the music.
Kiss are intergalactic space warriors that sing about love and partying and perform with pyro. It's over the top, but it's also made them millions. Just off merchandise alone, they've made millions.
Looking for a more recent entry that fully embraces a gimmick? Look at how much Tobias has done with Ghost over the past decade. The dedication they have to lore and new singers adds something that other bands don't have.
Ghost are led by a spirit Halloween devil pope, and with the nameless ghouls are taking over the world through music. They are now selling out arena tours and headlining festivals. Gimmicks can be over the top and ridiculous and still work.
Now go back to a band being a brand. When you think of Ghost and Kiss, you also think of the associated gimmicks along with the music. Then the look comes. Then the setting takes place on a spectacle stage show. You aren't just a group of people on stage. Your band name means something more. That's because you are dedicated to more than just the music, and it doesn't matter how good the music is, you need something to show with it. For the business side alone in rock and metal, not enough bands in heavy music are embracing the idea of having a gimmick, and you don't have to go all in and over the top with a gimmick like Ghost to stand out.
Even something as simple as a theme for your music can work well. Look at Sabaton, who focuses on historical war songs and turns them into metal. Then they dress the part. This leads to intense music videos and albums themed around specific battles and wars. They had a specific gimmick and were able to extend what the band can do under the name and focus.
Gimmicks do not have to be extremely defined concepts that you stick with for years or album cycles either. Many bands go all in with the gimmick that is massive when it doesn't have to be huge or identity defining.
Look at Avatar, who for every album will change up their onstage wardrobes to cater to their most recent album. A change like this helps to keep things fresh while supporting your current work, and it also helps support the idea that having an additional gimmick can be something limited in time and easy to manage.
Are gimmicks the end-all be-all answer? No, they will not completely mask lack of talent, writing, or sound. Gimmicks should help you stand out in a unique way. If you commit too much to the gimmick also and don't focus enough on long-term growth or the music, then you'll burn out. A good example? OKILLY DOKILLY.
The Ned Flanders metal band. Funny idea, right? Metal band that dresses up as Ned. All the songs are puns and in-character references to The Simpsons. The band even made it to the credits of a Simpsons episode after a few years. The problem? It's such a niche, exclusive gimmick that 1, you will run out of material to work with, and 2, if you don't care for The Simpsons, why would you care about this?
A broader gimmick can work, and it doesn't have to be as rigidly defined as Ned Flanders songs. When something like this happens, you can tell the material will run out quickly, and the gimmick gets old even faster. Open the scope of that gimmick. A great example of a band doing that?
Ice Nine Kills, a band that was around for a while that was wildly talented, but when they went all in on horror themes, they stood out massively in a sea of metal and metalcore bands. Horror has a massive amount of costumes, stories, and material to work with. By keeping their gimmick broad, they're able to expand their presentation while having a unique identity. Being great live also helps.
So I've explained why a band name is like a brand. Your logo is what people will instantly recognize, and my main point is that a gimmick can help a band stand out among countless other bands in heavy music. My question? Why do so many rock and metal fans shy away from a gimmick? This is not a new thing either. Part of the elitist attitude of
real music doesn't need costumes or gimmicks, it's the music that matters and that's it.
To anyone who thinks that way and they only love bands who refuse gimmicks and refuse to show personality or do something different, I hope you're okay when those bands have trouble making it on the road, finding new listeners, and they can't stand out because people are not buying their merch or tickets or even purchasing their music in general.
I buy vinyl and always go to concerts.
Okay, you are one person. I assure you that is not the norm, and for many years, rock and metal has lost significant popularity in the United States, with the mainstream format for 20-year-plus bands only getting attention, and most people not buying tickets or music from newer artists. A simple gimmick or something to stand out will help that band go much farther than reaching to one elitist fan. The other part is younger musicians not understanding that no matter how skilled you are at performing or writing, it will not be enough to stand out in the beginning if you are going on stage in jeans and black t-shirts. There are thousands of bands already doing that every week. If a random concert goer sees your band and doesn't know anything else about you, how do you stand out to them? A band can be as creative as they want with their gimmick, but it can be simple. Something along the lines of a band dressing in the color red could work. It's visually memorable, and you remember that band faster because you know it was the band that plays in red. A group's music can be amazing, writing top-notch, and fan base loyal, but if 99% of music lovers who don't know that band cannot distinguish the music in a sea of similar-sounding groups, then that band has a serious problem. If those same people hear that band on stage and nothing stands out in a significant way than the other songs they've heard, why are they going to remember that band? Last year I made a graph talking about metalcore, and I brought up how 80% of metalcore bands are indistinguishable from each other. It all sounds the same. On top of that, the bands all look the same, act the same, and nothing differentiates one group from another. That's awful. To make it as a band, you need to be extremely good, extremely different, or know the right people. Most bands don't know the right people starting out, and they can be extremely good, but now it's looking like that's not enough. Why not be slightly different in some way? A gimmick can work, and it's worked for many bands over the years. Embrace it. On the next video, I'm going to talk about 10 great bands with gimmicks. Leave your suggestions on who you think would be a good band that has a gimmick, no matter how big or small. There are many out there that prove it works. Thank you for listening to me talk a bit more on how gimmicks can be used in rock and metal. It's more business than people think. Big thanks to my patrons, and special thanks to Criss and Dom Noble. You can have a say in upcoming videos, get weekly new music playlists, and see videos early by supporting Rocked on Patreon. Click the link in the video description for more info on how to help the channel. Please subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of upcoming videos, and you can keep up to date with Rocked on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, if this video does well and the following video listing off 10 good gimmicks in heavy music does well, I'll make a video on 10 bad gimmicks in heavy music. There are unfortunately some of those out there also.